everybody. My name is Bezad.
My name is Risa.
And we are the founders of Wonder Looper. And we are bringing you today yet another episode of the Wonder Looper live stream, episode 109, broadcasting live from Yokohama, Japan, the international headquarters of Wonder Looper here. It is Monday, August 31st. For us here in Japan, and Sunday evening, August 30th, for many of you out there in the West, wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's right here live on YouTube or listening on the replay or listening to the podcast version where all podcasts are available, Spotify, Apple, this, that, and the other. We appreciate you tuning in. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We've got another exciting episode for you. We're going to talk about all things Wonder Looper, as always. Get into some release stuff. We've got a little bit of Azuma Afterhoods to release. We could talk about the release that just happened. We're going to answer your questions live, probably go off topic, maybe rant a little bit here and there. You never know where this stream goes, and that's why you tune in. It's live. Anything can happen.
Yes, I'm expecting a sneeze. So sorry,
That's part of the...
a little weird. That's part of the live stream.
That's it.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. John Cena could show up on the live stream. It could happen.
Yeah.
Unlikely, but it could.
Unlikely.
We can't rule it out. So tune in. You never know. Hit the like button, everybody, if you'd like John Cena to make a special appearance here on the Wonder Looper live stream. I know I would. All right, let's check in with the chat. Let's see where everybody is tuning in from. Let's see what people are wearing. We are in that sort of part of the year where the seasons are turning, transitions are happening, wardrobes are changing.
I can't believe the summer is over. Well, the summer isn't over, but...
September is like back to school. Like the kids are going back to school this week.
September doesn't mark a certain... Yeah,
it's done.
It's done.
You know, we're at at one of the grocery stores we go to, and they put out the Halloween stuff. You know, we were at Costco a few weeks ago. They had some Halloween stuff. They have the Halloween stuff at the grocery.
It's only 60 days away.
It's not that far. That's right. So we are into the fall. That's it. We you kiss it goodbye right at the end of August, the summertime. So
soon you're gonna see Christmas stuff.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. I love Christmas stuff. All right, everybody, let's see who's checking in here. We got BD in the house. Good to see you, my friend. We've got Buddy B checking in from Austin, Texas, where I'm sick of the highs of the 40 degrees Celsius over 100 Fahrenheit. That is quite warm. Yeah, hopefully it cools down a little bit for you out there in Austin land. We've got my good friend Arif in the chat. Good to see you, checking in from Chicago, wearing some heavily washed and worn double heavyweight French terry sweatpants. Probably the V1 original version from when they were first released. Fabric is actually fading kind of cool. Nice. There you go. Hope they're keeping you nice and cozy. At least up there in Chicago, it's probably a little bit cooler than down there in Texas land. Crown and 7 checking in from Milwaukee. It's been a while. Good to see you, and good to catch up on the live stream. Hope everything's been great. Well, good to see you, my friend. And the Yukon Selvage up there in the Yukon, that's right. Hello from the Yukon, where we've already had our first frost, and leaves are just starting to change color. The double heavyweights are back in high rotation.
Really?
It just goes to show
August.
You, right? It just goes to show you. You know what I mean? We got people checking in from all over the place, and yeah.
The winter is long.
Yeah, well, they're close to where Santa lives, so you know it's gonna be like that. So wherever you are, I hope our Wonder Looper gear is keeping you nice and cozy and you know appropriately covered for whatever season you're in. I know that for next spring summer 27, we hope to have some nice, extremely lightweight T-shirts.
Yes.
Yeah, we're waiting for those samples. We actually had a production meeting last week. A little bit of an update on them. The sampling's a little slow for us, but they're working as fast as they can, and we're hopefully going to have a few tidbits of spring summer 27. Some more of that to show off relatively soon. We have another little update on spring summer 27.
Not so good news.
Not so great news, but
we'll talk about
we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk before we get to the the bad news. Let's continue. It's not bad news. It's potential. Who knows? We'll stick around. We got people checking in from Singapore. Good to see you. Hello from New Jersey. We've got Jason Zargo wearing the Ringer tee and excited to hang out. Thank you very much. I hope you're enjoying that Ringer tee. It's very, very comfortable. You know, the other day I took home 2 more because I wear them a lot. They're in like heavy rotation for me. And I have both colors. I have 2 of both colors now. I just had to have more.
I'm thinking of taking. I have one of both each color right now, but I'm thinking of taking the sand too because that one is sample and it's a little bit small.
Right. Yeah. The thing is, when I take my first ones, it's usually samples. So between the samples and the production, there's often some sort of change, and the production is better than the sample. So. Yeah, that's also part of the reason why I took another one. Okay. What's going on here? BD said something about... BD says, my friend saw him at a Fan Expo Toronto panel today. I don't know who you saw. John Cena? Can't see him.
Can't see him.
In fact, he could be right here, right now.
You just can't see him.
You can't see him. That's it. That's pretty cool. Michael Williams, hi, checking in from Chicago. A bit rainy and humid today, so wearing a Wonder Looper Ringer tee. Well, thank you very much. We've got Pablo checking in from San Francisco. Nice to see you. Famously, where Full House took place. In fact, the first time I went to San Francisco, like literally the first time I went there, it was when we were with Naked and Famous, and I had one of our retail partners out there. There was a store called Seed Store. They don't exist anymore, but they were very nice people. And they picked me up, and they're like, "Oh, you want to see San Francisco? Like, where do you want to go? Let me take you everywhere." I'm like, "I want to see the Full House house," and that was the first thing we did. Went to go see the Full House house.
Full House house.
Yeah, it was a house. Anyway, it was fine. I was excited to see it. It's kind of like, you know, you see the
friend's house,
the
friend's
apartment, or the Home Alone house. Or in Chicago, or the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air house. Like, they're real houses. Inside's totally different.
Well, inside is a studio.
Yeah.
Usually.
So, but yeah, there is... you know, the other day, I saw that the Family Matters house it was based in Chicago. They tore it down. How dare they? I wonder if the Bundys, Al Bundy, Married with Children, if that is in Chicago. If that house still stands. I don't know what their house looks like.
I know what their house looks like inside, but outside.
Right. It's just that I just find it amusing that the idea of like a family living in a fully detached home with a basement and a second floor is like, in the 80s, that was poverty. I was like, whoa, look at this poor family in a house. Like, times have changed.
Yeah, but also people didn't care about like how real it was.
This is true. Arif says, I saw the Home Alone house. It used to be an Airbnb, but now crazy expensive and super modernized inside. Kind of ruined it. Yeah.
It is an abomination. Like, why would you?
Don't mess with success.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a tragedy.
I'm sure there would have been lots of people who wanted to buy it as the classic, you know, American, you know, decoration and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Just leave it. Classic American house. That should have been a landmark. Anyways, what can you do? What do we see? Yoda Man says, I saw John Cena in a movie today, and this is basically the same. So he is here. Well, there you go. We're both on television if you're watching television. So yeah, it's kind of like the same thing. Buddy B says the Married with Children house was in Deerfield, Illinois in real life. Okay. I wonder if the house is still standing. Anyhow, that's some fun TV talk for us. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about, just so people are ready, Azuma Afterhood. We have a little bit of stock left over from the release. We held back a few units just in case, you know, things happen. You know, sometimes people need to exchange sizes. They ordered the wrong thing, whatever it is. That sort of stuff seemingly is, you know, handled out of the way. I can't hold that stock forever. There might be some problems that show up down the line. We'll deal with it then. But for the little bit of remaining stock that we have, we're going to make that available in about 15 minutes at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So, in fact, it's 18 minutes from now if you're watching. So that'll be just a small little live release.
Very small.
Yeah, not too many units. But if you've been waiting or you missed out, it's your last opportunity to pick one up here.
Yeah.
Right? That said, a lot of people got them really fast.
Yeah.
Well,
when we left off last week, we sold out of some sizes, but not all. By the time the 24 hours has passed, like we definitely sold out to the pieces. I think we maybe it happened sooner than that. I think
it was technically less than 24 hours, but at the very least by the next day when we're in at work, everything was accounted for. Yeah.
And one thing to note with the held back pieces is that it's not always going to be available for you. So if you make a mistake with the size that you order or something like that, don't expect there to be a solution for you waiting after. Just act quickly. If the size you really want is available still online, just buy it. And we can always cancel.
Yeah. Don't rely on that.
Yeah,
right?
Not really. We had a lot of units this time, so we did have the, kind of freedom to held back a few pieces, maybe 1 or 2 per size. But usually when the release is limited, what we do is we actually physically count the units and we make every unit available most of the time.
Yeah.
So,
it depends on the release.
It depends on the
quantity
and how, part of the reason why we held back a few pieces is because we weren't counting every single piece right before the release. Sometimes the inventory just kind of gets shifted over time from the time of us receiving till time that we put it online available. So that's also part of the reason we didn't want to risk having to oversell.
Yeah. Well, there's that. There's also the fact that this was more of a limited release and not a general release. If, say, for example, it's a double heavyweight sweatshirts and we put everything online. If there's some sort of size exchange or something that needs to happen and we might not have the stock, I can at least call up one of our retail partners somewhere.
Or we can direct the customers to the...
We can arrange something to happen there. So we can try to figure out a solution for you. So, there's a couple of reasons why we do it. But either way, the bottom line is that we just want to be able to accommodate you guys. So,
and a lot of you guys who bought on the first day probably received it by now.
Yeah, I saw there's some people in the chat. If you picked one up, let us know in the chat if you got it and how you feel about it. But from all the comments that I saw online, everyone seemed to be pretty excited about it. People were really hyped up with how fast everything shipped. Let me tell you, we were locked in. It was very robotic in a lot of ways. And so Risa was picking orders. Wyatt was at the scanning station, or they would switch spots all the time.
Wyatt switch a lot.
Yeah, but I'm the bag guy. I feel
perfected the bag. Art of bagging.
Yeah, my specialty is get the things in the bag nicely. Rip the tape, put the thing on, and
the label on. Yeah,
and everything generally goes in fast and clean, and and so I love doing that. And when I'm doing that, when I'm really locked in, I'm what can I do to shave off a second? Because if I can shave off a second, then that'll compound over time.
So it depends on the release. This time it was mostly one sweatshirt. Yeah. So it was kind of very simple. Whereas sometimes when we release multiple things at a time, there's different orders, there's a lot of multiples and whatnot, so it kind of does slow us down when there's one, especially with the t-shirt. When there's one kind of t-shirt released and everybody's buying just that one kind of t-shirt, it's like we could get a lot out in one day. But with the sweatshirts, it's a little bit more cumbersome. It, takes up physically a lot more space. So like even when we put it out for FedEx, like we put it in a box, but the box gets filled up really quickly with the sweatshirts versus t-shirts. You can go on forever. So there's definitely a time difference. But we did ship about 300 on the first day.
On the first day. And then the next day we wrapped up the rest.
Yeah. Also 300 around, I think. So.
Yeah, so we've got people in the chat. We've got Texan. Got mine on Wednesday. Super comfortable. Hopefully it cools off so it can get added to the rotation. There you go. Little brain glitch from me. We've got Ging saying, love the Afterhood. Also astounded with how fast it came. Yoda Man says, ordered something from Gap a few hours before the live stream and got my Afterhood from Japan to Atlanta 2 days before the shirt from New York. Well, there you go.
The bigger difference there is the air or ground. They do have the option to ship from ground inside America.
Still, we beat the Gap. There you go. That's it. Gap, shut it down.
Yeah.
How are you going to compete with this?
3-people team.
It's over.
Getting it done.
There you go. Afterhood is really spectacular. Carmen7 says, it's amazing how bouncy and spongy it is.
It is fun. Spongy.
That's right. Spongy is the right word. It has this nice, like, I always called it a mochi texture.
Yeah.
And
very mochi.
And it's hard. Sometimes, it's really hard to explain how the texture of some of our fabrics, because there's only so much you can show on video, how much you can say, explain it in words.
And GSM doesn't describe it. GSM just describes the weight.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take, you can't tell from GSM how dense a fabric is or how, like
puffy it might be. So we always get a lot of feedback from our customers, like, whether it's the double heavyweight or the triple heavyweight t-shirt or like this, and they're like, yeah, no, that really feels special or different. I love it when customers come in here and they're like, can I see the triple heavyweight? And I'm like, here you go. And they're like, oh my God. Like, I never expected that. And I can only imagine when people are opening up or like getting their FedEx package or the triple heavyweight t-shirt and they're just like, what did I buy? Like, this thing is insane. Yeah. It is insane, by the way.
Yeah. And most people who actually come to the showroom, they touch the triple and it's like, it is great that you guys make this.
I'll stick with the double.
Yeah. The double is more practical. That's why we sell definitely by far more double heavyweights. Right. But triple heavyweight is something that is very, I don't know. I like where we are with this.
It's a superlative for sure. And I think for the people who look, I wear it in the wintertime. I do not wear it in the summertime. It's just
you can't.
Yeah, you can and you can't. It's just it's a beast. So it really depends what you're doing. But I'm excited to get that one out. I don't think that's anybody's daily driver.
Yeah. With that, at the triple heavyweight, we actually have a slight unfortunate news. We are a little bit shorter than we planned in production numbers. So that means that, we always look at the triple heavyweight, like request, email me when available request numbers, and they usually always very high numbers, and we're always like, yeah, but we're not gonna sell all these, right? Like, so, and every time we release, like, it kind of immediately sells out. So we're trying to slowly increase the numbers, but this year we did increase the planned numbers, but we might be back to what's available in terms of availability. Everybody's going to have a little bit of a shorter shipment from us.
So anyhow, that one, I think if you're not there at release time,
it might go.
It might go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So be careful. If you're really after that one, be on
Yeah.
it. And know multiple retailers that have it. That's always the key. So before the release of that, we will publish the retailer availability list and have a full list of all the retailers that have it, which colors, and we'll try to coordinate a release. Sometimes we don't all release at the same time. So, if you know that we're going to have it and, Gene Store in the UK is going to have it, or Iron Pyrite in the States is going to have it, just maybe touch base with them, make sure you know what their release times are as well. So it gives you multiple opportunities to get something. Now I have to say that is also another great way to get something, because some people, if they miss our release, and something sells out, sometimes people give up. Right? The amount of, I try to put as much information out there as possible, but then, sometimes I'll see a comment and be like, what the hell, you sold out. And, I'm just like, yeah, but we have I have this whole list. It's right there. Just check it out. I'm trying to make it easy for you, anyhow, we do our best. We've got Eddie Spaghetti asking the question, I gotta run, but I hope you all see this. We do. Hopefully you're seeing this on the replay. Are you guys considering doing a 3XL in the shirts? I usually buy a 26-inch or 26.5-inch chest, since I'm a 50-inch chest.
What is a double XL?
Yeah, double check. I would say that at the moment, there's no immediate plans to add a triple X. Look, I wouldn't completely rule it out down the line. I know that there's some bigger guys out there who have made this request. It's not an uncommon, not a completely uncommon request. So it's, So I would say that it's a definite maybe. Right? I'm not saying no. It's just not on the agenda right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We go up to double XL, which has a 24.4-inch chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
24.4, yeah. Okay, so we'll give it some thought there. Okay. We are 6 minutes away from Azuma Knit restock. So we'll do that, and then we'll talk about maybe some production hiccups that are happening.
Well,
potentially.
Yeah. Change of plans.
Actually. So we'll get into that in just a second. Okay, Arif, I'm debating about getting the newer iteration of the heavyweight French terry since the interior is brushed. Okay, if you're debating it, how can I say this? If it's the same color and you really like having more than one of something, sure, right? But I wouldn't say don't rush out to get it. If yes, the interior is brushed, but it's not slightly brushed.
Yeah,
right?
It's a half brush.
I would also say that if you were to take a garment brush, here, I'll show you. I have a pro tip for anyone who has lock seasons.
Right. Oh, maybe we did receive the crew neck and pullover hoodie in all colors of the double heavyweight French terry now in the showroom. So if you're visiting, you have you can see that in person. That means we have the racing green available to show off.
Yeah, we'll show that off today.
It's 5 minutes, so
okay.
I'm just gonna
Risa's gonna get ready
for a minute.
Okay.
5 minutes, exactly.
Sure. So if you have, say, a previous iteration of the double heavyweight French terry, and you're like, man, the new ones are brushed. I don't want to create FOMO for anybody. You can get a similar feeling to it. Number one, just through prolonged use and wash. So as you wash your garments, just make sure that when you're washing them inside out. That way, when it's, in the washing machine and it's being abrased, all that abrasion is happening on the inside of the garment. So eventually, over time, it'll just sort of fluff up and get a little bit softer because it's constantly being abrased. And that's actually how the brushing works. They basically have these giant brushes and they abrase the surface of the fabric, and it lifts and it breaks some of those yarns, and it makes them a little bit puffier. So if you're just washing and wearing, eventually you will get a similar texture on the inside. If you want to speed that process up, get yourself just a, clothing brush. This is something you can get at I got this at Muji, but you can find these online. I'm sure Amazon's got a gajillion of them. Just a clothing brush. It's just something, you might have in your closet to brush off any, crumbs or whatever that might be on your garment. But they're abrasive enough. They're not too abrasive, but they're abrasive enough that if you were to take it on the inside of the French terry and just with a little bit of force, brush it, you'll see that you will start raising some of those fibers up, and you can actually get somewhat of a similar texture just by brushing. Now, it's going to take a little bit of elbow grease, and of course it's a whole hoodie, so you're going to have to do it on the inside. Do your best to just try to do it evenly, but you can get a similar finish. So do you need to go and rush out to buy the new one just to get the, slightly different texture? I would say no. If you like the new colors, or you just, maybe you've had one for a couple years and you're ready to, freshen it up a little bit, okay, then that might be more of a reason to get it. But I wouldn't say that you necessarily need to go and replace anything you have in your closet just to get the newest version. We're not gonna promote that type of shopping behavior. Get it if you want it. Get it if you want it. Okay. We are 3 minutes away from the release of the Azuma Knit Afterhoods. So if you've been waiting, you will have another chance. Okay. I'm not sure what that says. Are these... Somebody's calling me an a-hole, I think. How capricious are these a-holes being about a half-brushed interior? Oh my god, get a life. Okay, well, we will. I'm not sure exactly who that is directed at or whatever, but that's okay. That's okay. Are other... any other different knitting machines you guys are looking to use, and what are their properties that make it special? We've got that Jag Mitaro. Hopefully I said that right. The answer to that is there's nothing that we're looking to use differently at the moment, but if we do come across anything particularly special, we will, and we will. When we do, we'll explain the differences. Now, when we went to Wakayama last time, like 2 months ago, a month ago, something like that, we actually did see some interesting other machines out there. Now, as far as like what makes them totally different or special, some of those things we'll have to dive in a little bit deeper, because on this tour we were sort of just going pretty fast. But we did find one mill that had some interesting knitting machines that his father had commissioned to be made. So these machines were also quite old, and they are only at his knitting mill. So some of the interesting thing about them was like the needles were super long. Now, what even just regular benefits or differences that these particular machines may have over current knitting machines, we didn't get too deep into that one. So maybe at some point we will touch base with this mill again, see what they offer, and talk about what those special properties are. It is interesting that, a lot of different machines have evolved over different eras. Like even in denim, for example. Risa, let me know when it's live, eh?
It is live.
Risa says it's live. Okay, so if you are looking to grab an Afterhood, it is live on the website right now. Okay, I can hear the counter going, but it's covered by the ironing board at the moment. Okay, I was talking about sort of the evolution of machines over time and their differences. And sometimes they're a little bit more subtle. Sometimes they're a little bit more obvious. But even when we were back in the denim game, there were evolutions of selvedge shuttle looms, or rather shuttle looms, for the denim making process. The original ones are, what are they called again? The GR1? Am I wrong?
Oh,
the oldest selvedge. My goodness, I now I don't remember.
Out of it.
Yeah, I've been out of it for a minute. But there are shuttle looms that are in existence, which were basically the first denim shuttle looms.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a handful of them that are still operating, and there's been several generations of them since. And like even the shuttle looms that are running, there were the ones that were meant for denim. But even before that, Toyota was making shuttle G3, the G3. Arif said it. My brain, there's just a lot of things going on. And it's still morning. Even before the G3s were introduced to make shuttle loomed denim, Toyota had been making shuttle looms for all kinds of textile industries for decades, since the 1800s. So it was not a new invention, rather, like, you know, it wasn't something completely newly introduced to them. But those oldest denim machines are still running today. But since then, since those earliest ones were introduced, other iterations, upgrades, you know, so to say, were introduced over time as well. And so from around, I forget when those ones were introduced, but up until about the 1980s is when the last generation of shuttle looms were produced. Now, most of the shuttle loom denim in Japan is coming from the newer machines. Obviously, the older machines either got upgraded or retired out, but there are still a handful of those older ones. Now, I would be interested to see some of the differences if any of the sort of middle generations, or like what the... To be fair, I don't even know what some of the differences might be through some of those middle generations of shuttle loom machines.
It is hard to tell because they're like whenever they weave different fabrics, like the outcome is definitely different.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, it's just like, you know, teriyami machines. Like not every teriyami knit fabric shows the same characteristics in terms of like what you can see and what you can feel.
It depends on a lot of things. That's true. It's not always completely evident just because you used a particular machine that it's going to look or feel a certain way.
Yeah.
Now, it is... I think it's kind of like being a chef where, you know, you're using different ingredients and trying to bring out the most by using those ingredients together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you get the best outcomes. Now, Jason asking about, speaking of denim, would one of the Osaka 5 released a pair of jeans with Green FoxFibre? Any word on when you will release something with Green FoxFibre as well?
Yes, it will be spring next year.
That's right. So it is in the works. It just takes a little bit of time. Now,
we're still waiting for the sample, but the sample fabric is ready.
Yeah.
Did we never show it off? I feel like we did.
I'm not sure.
Anyways, we do have a sample fabric swatch of the
green,
what's to come. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we'll show it.
Maybe we'll show that off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Jag Mitaro says, same for the vintage spinning machines like Ishikawa dye. It supposedly has a hand-spun quality to it, so I've heard. Yes, so the reason why you would use something like that is because with the vintage machines, there's less control over them, so it creates a natural slub to them. So, you know, we use some of those yarns in our production as well. So again, if you're trying to do something authentically vintage, you know, and you want to make an old school feeling shirt, well, you have to use all of the different ingredients the right way. So, you know, that's one way to do it. Matching up a spun yarn from those old vintage spinning machines and then matching it up with the older knitting machines as well. And then if you were to even pair it up with a heritage cotton, that might be a fun... That's actually a project I thought about, you know, and I'm sure we'll probably do it at some point, but it would be cool to use a heirloom cotton variety or a variety of cotton that was grown around that time. Use the old vintage spinning machine, old knitting machines, everything's
Old
sort
brushing.
of old brushing, old everything of like the correct period in order to create something the right way. And it, I think it could be kind of funny because sometimes, I don't know, in the art world, sometimes there'll be like an art pirate out there, and they're creating fake Picassos, right? And they're very good at creating, the style of the artist. And then, it sells for millions of dollars or whatever. And then the owner, sometimes maybe they catch a whiff of like, is this real or not? And they have to send it out for forensic testing. And then what they'll do is they'll test the paint, and they'll see like what kind of minerals or metals or whatever are contained in the paint, and to see if that was like authentic to the era of the time. Because if you see modern, things in there, in the chemical composition of the paint, then obviously it wasn't made at that time.
Right.
But if we were to do something like that, for example, use like an heirloom variety cotton on a proper spinning, like it would be, if nobody's ever going to do this one day, but I just thought that it would be kind of funny where, if somebody were to actually dissect this, and they'd be like, hold on a second, this is...
Yeah, I wonder if they can tell.
Yeah.
Obviously, if we had
like a forensic, right?
They'd be like, "Oh, has to be the
right.
newer product." But yeah, I don't know. But like a lot of things that are like like the care tag, like
right?
The care label, we have to put it. And
but if we didn't,
it's a dead giveaway.
yeah.
It's I don't know. Anyways, it's an interesting thought experiment.
Right.
We still have a couple of Azuma left, only in the larger sizes.
Yeah.
I think with this release, smaller sizes kind of sold out first.
It's okay.
But,
anyhow, there you go.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody who placed their order, who've been waiting for one. And hey, you know what? If you still need one, you're an XL, XXXL. We have a little bit left there for you.
Okay, so Green FoxFibre.
Green FoxFibre. Okay, let's go to that.
So I have a fabric swatch of the Green FoxFibre jersey that we're gonna make into there's some kind of flip like
that's okay.
Make into a t-shirt. So this is a Fox Green 50. So 50% Green FoxFibre iron mortared, and and made it into a jersey. So this is the Fox 70 brown.
Yeah.
Iron mordant.
Yeah.
So this is 70% brown cotton. This is iron mordanted, and this is kind of like the equivalent of that. It's 50% green with iron mordant in it. This time around, we're only doing this exact mix. We are going to do this yarn with a black.
Yeah, ringer tee. Grandrel.
We're doing the Grandrel as well.
Yeah.
Are we doing the I think we're doing the Ecru Grandrel too, right?
I don't remember.
I think we are.
Yeah. So we will have a version of this.
Yeah. So this is a Fox 70 brown yarn Grandrel, like twisted with a black yarn.
Yeah.
And we will do the same with this yarn, this Fox Green Iron Mordant yarn with the black yarn. And I'm pretty sure, I'll double check right now, but I'm pretty sure we're doing that with Ecru twist as well.
Yeah.
So we would have 3 different kinds of the Tsuruyami jersey t-shirts. And on top of that, we're doing a ringer tee.
Yeah. So we decided to go with the iron mordant on the green because in reality, the green color comes out kind of faint, right? It's not sort of, when you say green, you expect sort of a wash, like you think green grass, green. It's very pale green.
Yeah.
So we always felt that when you iron mordant it actually really brings the color alive. And so it has this grayish green tone to it, which I think looks very, very nice. So we thought we'd go with this one a little bit more. It's also a little bit more masculine when you go with the iron mordant because that pale green is very, very light. right?
Yeah. And also not only is the color light,
Yeah.
it is also very susceptible to like color change with the sunlight and all kinds of things. So it is a very unstable color, and by doing the iron mordant on it, it is you can kind of expect it to stay the way it is a little bit more than like if we without iron mordanting.
Right. So on its this color tone, I think it has a nice, very handsome masculine to it as well.
Yeah.
So that's
it's like a gray green masculine, like very nice color. I really like
We've
it.
got a couple of people saying sage. It looks kind of sage in the I can see that, but I'd say it leans more gray green than Anyhow, we'll get some more photos of it online. Maybe our camera
This
monitors.
is also like depending on who looks at it, I think it's going to be described very differently.
Yeah.
It is one of those colors where there's just so much complexity. It's not very simple, one way or the other kind of colors.
Yeah, like a drab green, people are saying. Yeah, that's right. So grayish blue, something like that, So anyhow, that's the color. I think it's going to look very nice. And you can see that there's a greenish gray here happening. So more naturally colored garments coming your way. And it's been a long time sort of waiting on this green because there isn't a lot of it. There's a lot less of it produced every year than the brown. And
it's a harder fiber to deal with, even more than the brown. Brown is not.
Brown is that we've perfected is maybe not the right word, but it's been around for longer, right? And so while it is still a crop of that is constantly being improved year over year over year, green doesn't have as long a history as the brown, so it is still still coming. Maybe one day the green, when you see the plant, you see the cotton bolls, they're quite bright, but once it gets mixed in and everything, it tends to
it needs to be mixed in.
Yeah, it tends to lighten up a lot. So it's not the green that I think people expect, right? People expect to see what kind of when you see the brown, it's very brown, very like obvious, but the green, it's a lot more subtle in comparison. Gray ghost cactus, that is a very good way to describe this. Gray ghost cactus. Okay, so that is coming for part of spring summer 27. We will, once we have the garment samples ready, hopefully soon, we'll show those off, and it'll be a little bit better than a little cutting here that we have. Right?
I mean, it should be coming in a couple weeks at least. Hopefully. Speaking of green, I brought the racing green sample because we never really showed this off because we didn't sample this.
That's right. We just sort of went straight into production.
So it's like a late additional idea that we're just like just do it.
Right.
Nothing. So we don't have a zipper hoodie.
Yeah, I'll put it on.
We do have the pullover hoodie. And what's different, what's new about this is this gold colored call it spindle, but aglet. So this is a little bit of a different thing. The zip hoodie will have the matching goldish zip teeth.
What size is this?
Medium.
Good.
Yes. So compared to the last time we did a similar green, which is like 2 or 3 years ago, 3 years, I don't know. Anyways, this green is a little bit more green.
Yeah.
The last time it was much more muted, and the rib and the
two-tone rib
body is a little bit of a I wouldn't call it a contrast, but it's not perfectly matching. Especially in this light. You see it a lot more in this light than you do in real life.
Yeah, but there is a bit of a two-tone with this guy.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's subtle, but it is kind of luxurious. This green, the gold aglet.
And what a hoodie. I mean, you got the weight, you got the nice big hood. It's thick. It stands. What you really like about the double heavyweight hoods is that like they're substantial enough that they just kind of stand on their own. So they just have a nice way of sitting on your shoulder. So a nice beefy, burly sweatshirt. And this is going to be coming September. But if, of course, you are here in Japan, you can visit us and get this a little bit earlier. But that is the racing green that we've all been waiting for. We're happy to have it finally available for you to see. But yeah, as it was a late edition, we didn't sample it. We just went straight to production, and here it is. So very, very beautiful color. And I hope you guys like it. It was a big call out from the community. Yeah. So that is I'm gonna wear it for a few minutes, but it is the production, so I don't wanna gunk it up myself. Is there a feel difference in the Yak work shirts because of the differences in the cotton used? Between the two.
Not really, no. It's hard to tell.
It's very hard to tell. Yeah. I gotta get my glasses. I can't see anything.
Okay. Yes, it's more brass than gold. I think brass is a better word to use. Yes. It is golden color, but it's not like shiny gold.
Yeah, brassy.
It's more,
green looks excellent. Love the side panels, Mr. Rob. Or Rob, something like that. Thank you very much. Yeah. Green and gold, color of my Packers. I love it. Crown and 7. Green Bay Packers. I'm trying to remember. I don't know any team. I was trying to remember a player from the Green Bay Packers. Out of all the sports, I know the least about professional football. Yeah. I don't know very much at all. We used to watch football with Brandon, Naked and Famous Brandon.
Yeah.
He's a big football fan. And
Patriots.
Yeah, he loved the New England Patriots. So we would often, if we're out and about, during trade show season, it was all often like, playoffs. So we'd find a bar, be like, 1:00 in the morning in Paris, and we'd find the only bar playing the football game, and we'd watch it there or go to his house. But yeah, I haven't watched too much football since, but.
That and like in my last year in the States, I had a roommate who was like Steelers fan, so like we would always watch it.
Yeah,
but
Brett Favre, that's it, Brett Favre.
Yeah. But yeah, those are my like two like
football memories.
There's literally like I don't think I've ever watched the entire game straight.
Oh really? No, I've like definitely. I would be
in like a, like when we go with Brandon, like we'll go to a bar and watch it. Like right. I'm not watching the entire time. Right?
Okay. I remember one time, and this is just me being sort of an annoying jerk, but we were in Paris. We were watching some football game, and how can I say it? I'm sure we've all been in this instance where. Maybe when you're in your workplace, you're with your boss or whatever, and there's this sort of rat type human that is like, oh, that's the important guy, like that's the owner. Let me just like completely ignore everybody else who's around here because why would I talk to anyone else, right? So I like there was this rat. He was from another brand. He was a complete rat, and here he's just sitting and just like. I don't know, maybe he wanted to go on a date with Brandon later on or something. I'm not really sure. But, it was just sort of that energy that, like, that's the important guy. Everybody else around me is irrelevant. And so I just started annoying him just on purpose. And I drove him up the wall. I think he wanted to fight me by the end of it. But, like, literally, I was pretending like I knew absolutely nothing about football. And I would just... every few seconds start asking him the most annoying questions like, oh, so is there if there was a down, I'd be like, so how many downs are left? When is there a touchdown? So what is that? Why do they call it football if they're throwing it? Like, why is the ball oval shaped? Just the whole time. Anyways, I just remember that.
To do with football.
It was nothing to do with football. It was just a just a great moment I had, and I loved. Sometimes, you know, when you can get under somebody's skin, I got under his skin. He really hated me, and I'm glad he does, because you know what? I hope you're having a nice day. That's it. I just remembered it. It was very annoying. And since we were talking about football, I brought it up. Anyways, any update on when we can expect the fall Henleys, Ultimate Puma tees, and side panel zip hoodies? Would also help to know when the regional retailers will get it. Yeah. What?
Yes. So when we have a release coming up, we always obviously announce it on the newsletter and the Instagram and YouTube and all that. But if you're just generally wondering, there is always a page on our website that kind of updates as we decide on the release time or when we have the release time. And there's another page on the website that once the release date is confirmed, that we would update with the retailer list and which retailer would get what color and what fit and all that. Like all of those information will be updated on our website. So if for the release schedule, both things, you just go to the bottom of our website and there's a footer. Each page is linked in the footer that describes the release timing and release retailer list.
Yeah. So that said, let's go to our favorite website. I know it's your favorite website. It's definitely my favorite website as well. That's wonderlooper.com. If we'll just load here. What's going on there? No, did it load? Didn't load. 1 second. It's going to take. There we go. There we go. Everybody's favorite website, wonderlooper.com. If you want to know when something is planned to be released, we do two things. So first off, we have the release restock schedule. It's right here at the bottom of the page under information. So just click on that. And as things are planned, we will have those dates here on the website. And you can see that there's a couple of different things. For example, FoxFibre Double Heavyweight French Terry. We know that that's going to be available September 2026. We do not have a date yet. Once we have a date, the date will be added, right? But there's other cases where you're just going to see fall 2026. The reason why it says fall 2026 is because we haven't even quite drilled down what month it's going to happen in. So as the information becomes more and more available to us when we hear back from our the factories with the production schedule and things like that, delivery schedules, we update this. So I'm not going to lie, I get a lot of emails asking me when something is coming and when it's going to be available, and I always point them here, but it's always here, right? I don't have any more information than what we've already published. Yeah. So once it's updated, we'll update it, but yeah, there's not much more I can offer than what's on the website right now.
Yeah. And just maybe go to the retailer list.
That's it. Hold on 1 second. Let me bring that right back up. Yeah, Lisa brings back a good point. We do have the retailer availability list. So again, wonderlooper.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom. You're going to see upcoming release retailer availability. It's right under the release restock schedule. Click on that. And then whatever the release is, so when there's a new release announced, we will have that information published here. So we're going to have the retailer, their location, and then which colors and which styles they're getting. So it's always updated to the latest release. So when we do release these double heavyweight sweatshirts, whether it's the FoxFibre or the conventional classic colors that we have here, we will have all of that listed so that you know where you can get something. So if you want to shop more locally, you can do that. If you want to, if you're looking for a specific color or fit, you can do that. If you want to have a backup for, when our release goes and you want to make sure that, hey, if it sells out, I know somewhere else I can get it. We make all that information available for you right then and there.
Yeah. we
Yeah.
just don't have each retailer's release schedule ourselves. So each retailer might have slightly different release
Yeah.
times and dates. We try to ask them to kind of
Do it on the same date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes like things get held up in the customs or whatever, and some people release it later, or some retailers like want to do their own measurements and do their own like photos, so it might take extra time for them to prepare for release, things like that. So we don't know. For each retailer's release time, you have to contact the retailer directly. But yeah, in general, we put the latest release information up top, but even after the release, we keep the older release information. So if you're looking for something that's already released and you're just kind of like late, but like maybe hoping that you can still find something, you can always go back to the list and kind of check out their websites and whatnot too.
Yeah. Okay, Bella Boris asks a good question. Any chance for more stockists, so more retailer availability? I'm gonna get changed. Risa, you want to field that one?
So we are each season. I mean, we're small operation. We're still a small operation. We're very careful with how fast we expand. But each season we do add maybe 1 or 2 new retailers to our retailer list. And I'm happy to announce that this fall we're adding a couple new retailers. One is Thomas E. Punkt in Hamburg, Germany. They are a friend of ours that we've been working with them since the days of the Naked and Famous, and they're family operated, like 2-3 generation family business. Like we went to visit them once when we were still with Naked and Famous, but they're just fantastic people, and we really like what they're doing, so we decided to work with them. They're starting fall, they're gonna have some products in store. They have their own store. I think they have multiple stores and like a cafe and stuff like that. But they also have a website.
But there's one more also. Hold on.
Yeah, it was sorry, I'm just kind of
Let me check another question.
Okay, so another one coming. How dare you be so thorough? What am I supposed to complain about? You can complain about a lot of things. We get constant complaints. You just have to be creative.
Yeah. What's a fun complaint you dealt with lately?
What is it? That's a hard question. I don't know. I mean, I only usually just deal with like shipping and embroidery and all those questions. Like I don't do a whole lot of general customer service, just in general, because I have other things to deal with. But yeah, I don't know. Everybody has been very reasonable these days. I don't have any fun stories actually.
Yeah. So I'll think of a fun story, but retailer availability. So Risa mentioned Thomas E. Punkt in Hamburg, Germany, and we're also expanding a little bit more in the United States and the Philadelphia region at Totem. Yes. So Totem, Totem. They have a great assortment of goods, kind of rugged wear and outdoor stuff. Right. So we'll have a little bit more retailer availability in the States. Yeah. Now, what sort of prevents us from like doing hyper expansion is some of our production. It's slow. It's rare materials. When we do our production, last week, for example, was the last week of the week before, they're already asking us, like, how much cotton, do you need for next year? So a year in advance, we're saying, okay, well, this is how much we think we're going to need. So our production is sort of, in a way, capped, right? And if we have to then add a retail partner, what we're doing is we're taking the same amount of stock and we're just spreading it around more doors. So we have to slowly grow in order to have more and more doors with Wonder Looper available. So yeah, it's a slow grow, but anyhow, it's easier for us, and it's, I would say, I don't want to Spreading it out thin isn't going to be better for anybody, right? You know, if you go into a store and they have 3 t-shirts, it's not great, right? Because that's all we can do. So, you know, at the same time, I don't want to quadruple our production thinking that we're going to open up all these doors and have all these sales and then for that to not happen. Right?
So it's like, you know, this is maybe like a more organic approach where like we're taking our time, like, you know, growing, like we're not rushing. We're, as a business, I don't think we should like expand so quickly because that's a very scary, you know, way to like grow. I think we should have a steady growth that is more organic and that is more sustainable in the long run. And the same with like in the interest of retailer as well. Like Bezet said, like if we sell to everybody that wants to carry some things in their brands, like everybody's like, you know, like what we want for our retail partners is that they represent our brand well. And if you know they're in say like in Toronto, we have Gerhard representing us. Really, like they carry almost everything, and that's where we send our people who live in Toronto or who are around there to go shop in person, right? Like there's just like ultimate space that we can all be confident that you go there, you'll have a decent selection of goods. And that's a win-win for us and for them too, because then they have all the like surrounding market people would rely on him to carry Brandon Looper. And it just, I think it's a very like mutually beneficial setup for all of us, including customers as well.
Yeah. It's a much better shopping experience when there's like a home base. You know, you go to that store, they represent it well. They know the product, they know the stories, they know everything. And we have a good personal relationship with that person. So if they need something from us, we can make it happen. You know, that's how I want this business to grow. I don't want it to just be, you know, we hire a bunch of sales reps and go out and to every trade show and sell it to every store. And then, you know, you lose that personal connection, right?
And that's why we don't do trade shows. Partially because we're always late in sampling, but also it's just that we're not just randomly looking for people. Like, you know, if we...
we're not randomly trying to grow the business, right? It's like the business grows at the pace that the business is going to grow.
Yeah.
You know, our production, sorry to keep cutting you off, but our production comes in when the production comes in. Our sampling comes in when the sampling comes in. Everything is very much, I'm going to say, very organic, right? I'm not pushing anybody. Everyone in every step of the process is an artist in their own way, and they need to do their work at their own pace. This isn't... You know, this isn't, you know, the son of, you know, I was thinking about, you know, the way a lot of, sometimes I see these brands and it's like, they talk about their organic story and it's like, wow, the son of one financier and the brother of another finance company got together to make this. And it's like, you know, like there's no passion in a lot of brands and companies and things that come out. It's like, they see sort of, wow, somebody sees a hole in the market and they're just like, well, let's just make this, right? And so now they made a company that makes, you know, doodads. And they don't care about it. They just know that there's people who need doodads, so we make doodads. But like, we don't care about that. We care about making the things that we make, and that's always number one. That's the goal. Make something really, really nice. We like it. We have to like it. It has to, you know, I will say it, I said it 1,000 times, but it's the most cliche thing in the world. It has to spark joy. You have to touch it. You have to feel it. It has to look and feel and touch incredibly. And however long it takes, it takes. And so, you know, maximum expansion, global takeover. It's not, if we do achieve that one day, it's not because of, you know, the way it's conventionally done. It will be very organic because people want it, and we grow at a scalable, normal pace.
Yeah. And, you know, it's kind of offensive to go to trade shows and, you know, showcase our brand. And then everybody who comes in and it's like, hey, can I place an order? It's like, no.
Right. You cannot.
No, you cannot. We were maxed out. But joking aside, I think we are like we are trying to grow little by little, and our focus right now is maybe, a couple retailers each season, but in a region that is, in a store that like we can, like really see ourselves in,
Mm-hmm.
and also in a, a physical store in a region that maybe we don't have a lot of representation
Right.
in. So we're not going to open up a bunch of different accounts in the same city or anything like that, but we do have a list of cities that are like, we get a lot of requests from customers, and that, usually those are the like high populations, big cities, and we try to, or like just a country, like especially a country,
sometimes there's countries that there's
that we
no
don't-
representation, but we get a decent
exactly.
amount of orders.
Right.
So,
we're thinking about it.
It just takes a little bit of time.
Right.
Yeah, a ref says no Chicago account. Yeah, Chicago's a hole.
Yes.
Los Angeles is a weird hole. Now there's stores in the adjacent areas, but
right, but people living in LA is not going to go shopping in Berkeley just for, it's a long drive, long trip.
Yeah, you gotta drive everywhere in LA anyway. So, anyways, the internet covers a lot. So realistically, there's that. But yeah, it's gonna be slow expansion. I will say that. Yes. We will definitely try to cover as much as we can, and we will get to it. But at the very least, we have the internet. We have super fast shipping. We have personal connections with you guys. We're the ones handling the customer service, shipping everything out. We know where things are going. So, we'll do our best. It's we're not the Gap, and in some ways, thank goodness we're not the Gap. But we'll soon take over. Yeah. And when we do, the idea is that, any shop you go to, it should feel like your local shop, like you could talk to the owner and get some great service there as well. Right. So,
with the production things.
Wait. I wanted to there was somebody asking about some stitches coming loose in their sweater. What should they do? Any suggestions on the stitches gently coming off the wrist of a FoxFibre crew neck sweater? Bring it to your tailor. Look, unless you know how to fix it, the answer is your tailor. Bring it to the tailor shop. If there's a hole forming, especially if it's just stitches coming undone, stitches are the easiest thing to fix because the fabric isn't broken. They just gotta reinforce the stitches. So bring that over to your local tailor shop. They're gonna fix that right away. Yeah. Now, I want to skew that into, like, sometimes you get, how can I say it? It's the weird customer service questions that we get. And, sometimes they're, they're not that weird. You guys need to make more stuff. Guys are always sold out. And, okay, look, maybe you don't get it from our perspective, right? In a lot of ways, people see, I guess the fact that they see us, prominently spoken about online. They see us, we have an online store. In a lot of ways, the fact that the internet has made a lot of companies sort of at the same level, right? In the past, if you weren't on the, if you were on the high street, you were a brand and you were on like the high street where all the high street brands are, you were that level, or if you were at the shopping mall with all the other, the mall level brands, you were that level. Now things are very blurred because when we do our shopping, it's all online, right? There's no boundary, right? There isn't, well, that's the high rent area, that's the low rent area, that's the middle rent area. We're all the same, right? So when people see things selling online, they're like, well, this website always has stock. You go to, this, that, and the other retailer, they make sweatshirts. They always have stock. Why don't you guys always have stock? It's hard to know whether it's a 3-person company or a 3,000 or 10,000 or 20,000 person company. You don't know. It's all sort of the same. So I understand people's expectations of, just make more. Well, if you know our story and the way we make things, you'll probably understand a little bit better that it's not, it's not a switch that we can just flip to make more stuff. I would love to. ELS t-shirts, I want those in stock every day of the year. I can't have it, but I want it. You know, we certainly we try to work with our partners to try to improve, you know,
Right.
out of stock situations.
Yeah.
But you know, there's only so much you can do with the way we make stuff. So those questions come in, but other questions come in like, you know, wear and tear type questions, you know, and sometimes it's something like this, you know, there's a, how do I deal with it? But sometimes, and I like it when somebody asks me, do you know, this wore out or this thing, whatever happened, there's a whole, how do I deal with it? The weird way to ask that question is, you send me a picture of something and there I'll say, is this normal? The is it normal question is I hate that question. I hate it a lot. I know people ask it because maybe they don't know how to ask the question, right? I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm not blaming you for asking it, but I'm just telling you from my perspective, when you ask me that question, it's hard to gauge what type of response you're looking for, right? Is this normal? Is a hole in a shirt normal? I don't know what happened to that shirt. I don't know how that hole formed. I don't know how long you've had it. Whatever it is. Holes are normal. They're as normal as a candle, you know, burning, you know, when you light it up, right? Things can happen to, you know, it is not abnormal for a hole to form in a shirt. Wear and tear happens. You know, you've got pets, you get snagged. Things happen in life that can cause damages. When you drop your phone and it cracks, it doesn't matter that you have the cheapest Android phone or you have the highest end, you know, Apple, iPhone, Max Pro, whatever. Life happens. So when you say, you know, it's literally just, there's a hole in my shirt, is that normal? You know, I'll get something like that. And I'll say, well, wear and tear happens. You know, are you asking me how to fix it? Are you dissatisfied? And you know, it's a very tough thing when you ask me the question that way. If you say to me, hey, you know, I've had this shirt for a while, yada yada, what can I do to prolong this? How can I fix it? Then I can answer you. But sometimes, like when you ask me the question, is it normal? The answer, like if I'm literally answering your question, I'm stuck in this situation where I'm answering the question that yes, holes, damage, wear and tear is normal, right? So ask me the question you really want the answer for.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, the thing is, like, you know, if we don't know what you're asking, then you're likely not going to get the answer that you want. And you know, if we were just answering a question like that, and you know, like that's the response that you get, like you're gonna be unhappy about it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be unhappy. We don't want you to be unhappy. We're just like, you know, we do our best to keep customers happy
Yeah.
when they walk away from the transaction and conversation or whatever communication whatnot. So like we try our best. So obviously we're not gonna, like, you know, always like you have a sweater that you know you kind of destroyed yourself, and like we're not going to replace it for you. We're a business, we need to, you know, make sure that
But it should also be obvious that, like, you know, if your dog chewed up your sweater, which has happened. I've seen people come to me and they're like, oh man, my dog chewed up my sweater. Is there anything I can do? And I'm like, that level? Not really. I mean, that's your you know, I'm going to fix the car sweatshirt now.
Right.
Right?
But my point is that it is, you know, we try to do our best within the range of what we can do. We try to give you the best advice we can. We try to give you a solution that we can. So, you know, whenever there's a problem, just be honest in what you want or what you're expecting of us. Or like what you hope to hear from us, and then, you know, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
Like this is not like a, you know, negotiation where we can't show our hands and, like, you know.
Yeah. Just tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Just, you know, the Spice Girls got it in that.
Yeah, let's not waste anybody's time.
So yeah, because I'm left guessing. If you say, hey, this happened to my sweater, is this normal? or like, you know, sometimes it's like they'll wash it and clearly it's bleach. Like, the answer is it's bleach. I know it's bleach because it looks like bleach. Like, there's no, sometimes it'll just be like this splash, right? And they're like, I just washed this. Is this normal? And I'm like, well, it's normal if you washed it with bleach, you know. But also, like, you're making me do this thing where I'm like, I don't want to accuse you of anything, right? Well, I didn't wash it with bleach. When I'm like, well, it's not going to do that. Like, the way a fabric is dyed isn't that like this little splotches part were dyed and then they just weren't dyed as much as all the surrounding area was dyed. So clearly after one normal wash, that's just going to wash out. That's not how things work, right? And then, you know, I don't want to have to go into this whole like technical explanation as to why you're wrong. I want to help you in whatever, you know, situation that we're in, you know, and explain maybe better washing technique. You know, maybe we can do something for you. I don't know. But like, just don't come to me with,
Yeah.
right?
It just sounds a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you're fishing for something.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Just, you know, let's deal with it. We want to make you happy, but yeah, don't make me try to fish for what's gonna happen, what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Sergeant B says, I drove my $1 million Bugatti into a wall and it got wrecked. Is that normal? Yes. Yes, it is. I'm like, every time I get an email like that, I'm like, man, what happens when you drop your phone? Like, you know, I know what Apple's gonna tell you. Did you get that Apple Care? Right? Well, it was a $1,600 phone, yada yada. It's like, yep.
Doesn't matter how much it is.
Does not matter how much it is. You can take a $10,000 Vicuna sweater and, you know, wear it to the construction site, and it's going to get wrecked. Well, it was 10,000. It should be in destruction. No, it's not. It's not literal, you know, medieval armor. Even medieval armor gets wrecked when, you know, somebody with a mace smashes them in the brain. You know.
Yeah. Okay. I think we get the point.
Yeah.
Texan.
Yep.
2010. Brings us back to the point that I wanted to make. It was a perfect segue. But
now it is again.
Any new natural dyes for the spring? Yes. Yes. Because we've been dealing with our Amami dye house, because we wanted to bring back some Amami dye t-shirts for the spring and also maybe do some extra natural dyes. And we are expecting the samples in those t-shirts back maybe in a week or two. So we'll show it off once we have the sample. But the unfortunate news
we'll see how unfortunate.
Well, I actually have an update since we started this
live stream. Well
then. The unfortunate news is that we were hoping to do the Super Looper in these kind of dyes at that dye house, and it doesn't look like that's going to be possible. The reason being that, you know, they're you know, maybe you've seen our video on Amami dye t-shirts, and maybe you see a little bit of their dye house. It is a very small operation. Everything is done by hand, one at a time. It is a very handwork driven, just very, you know, labor intensive process. And our Super Looper, they're not our heaviest sweatshirts, but they are heavy. They are definitely not an easy thing to dye with natural dye. And, you know, it takes up so much more dye, it takes up so much more space, it takes up so much more time to dry and everything. And their capacity for things like that is not big enough for us to do that in
any major way.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna have to give up on that for now. We will see what else we can do. Obviously, we're not like, but this time, it's the end of August, and we're not going to be able to kind of like turn it around for the next spring. So I think this is the end of the road for Super Looper natural Amami-dyed for now.
For now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not going to give up on that idea. Maybe
Right.
we'll find maybe a different dye house that might be able to help us with this project. But yeah, there's the fact that they're so heavy, and it is a bigger, more complicated garment to dye. And I think also the fact that I think this was going to be mega popular. So just the capacity to do it, I think if we were asking him to do, 10, it probably would have been okay. But I think there might have been hundreds, and that's just too much.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's also, part of it is that like we want to do the t-shirts. And
Yes.
I think that is more of priority at this point. We
Yes.
don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot because we want to work with this dye house. We can't, if we take up our own space for things that
It
we
just
want to make, then
prolongs.
yeah, I think t-shirts, everybody's going to love it. It's spring, summer also. So, t-shirts are good.
Yeah.
We are not just repeating these two colors or, the ones that we did in the past. We are adding new variety.
Yeah. So there will be new colors in the Amami dyed t-shirts. There will be some returns and some new. But yeah, the Super Looper version is unfortunately on hold. We're going to see if we can do some other things.
Yes.
We want to add more color and variety there as well. So actually over the weekend, we were talking with some friends to see if maybe there's a plan B, right? It might be a little bit different, but there might be some other newer options. So we're still going to explore that. But yeah, in the meantime, but that said, we did add the Ecru version. So the Ecru version of the Super Looper is part of the collection next season. And if you want something custom dyed, you can always reach out to our good friend Mike over at Wild Frontier Goods. He can do it. He can do it on an individual basis, but yeah, so that's still something that's doable if you're really keen on getting something dyed.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the Amami history and story, we'll see. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
This is the part of the the dilemma of the world that we live in. Like we love these, like, I mean, obviously, like we're just so happy to do these dyes and see this like amount of work they put in and all of those things, and it's just like, yeah, it's great. Like we have so many good ideas to and good like possibilities that we can think of that are just amazing, but like in reality we have to consider the capacity issue. We have to consider the time and cost and all kinds of things. And I mean, cost is I guess the least of the problems, but we don't really care how much it costs, or uh, to a degree, like we also don't care how long it takes.
Yeah.
But if the dye house, the people who work there aren't willing to do it, then we're not going to be able to like bully them into it. Like we obviously want to have a good relationship, lasting relationship. We want them to be happy with working with our products. So
yeah, but just like by adding more work to their plate, right? It just prolongs things, right? It's kind of like with Suriyami. If we want to double our production capacity for Suriyami, it just takes twice as long, right? There's no like expansion where they're gonna get more machine. There are no more machines. There's the amount of machines that they have, and that's it. So if we want more, it just takes longer, and that's sort of the problem also in the way that we built our company, in that we rely on a lot of slow and rare things that just cannot be done at just mass scale. So if we want more of it, it just takes longer. If we want it, some things are not, it's just not possible. Is it possible for them to dye 500 sweatshirts? Yeah, over a certain amount of time it is. But like, you know, is it viable? Do they want to do it? You know, sort of things
Yeah,
like
I
that.
think
And then they also have to dye our t-shirts,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
exactly. And whether they want to do it, I think is a better question to ask because again, like they're not our dye. We don't own
yeah,
a dye house. We're lending the expert experienced like the
mm,
crafts from these people, so we have to have a respect in what their
yeah.
the
So, so,
limitation is.
so I was comparing like some Amami-dyed jeans to the sweatshirts. The sweatshirts are way more complicated because they're so much thicker. They absorb so much more dye, and then with the Super Looper, you also have all those French terry loops. So there's just a lot of like areas that you got to get into. With jeans, it's a lot more like the t-shirt, and plus those jeans sometimes they're over dyeing them. I don't know which one specifically you're talking about, but like they're already dyed. So the over dye is just you're putting it in, and it's just more dye on top.
Yeah.
So it's not as complicated as doing a sweatshirt. The sweatshirts are an absorbent sponge, and jeans are more like I would say dyeing a paper towel, right? Paper towel versus sponge. Sponge is going to hold up so much more dye, right? Yeah.
With
So
that said, I mean, I think this is a good like kind of bring us down moment, like bring us back
yeah,
to
reality.
the reality
Yeah.
on earth. It is certain things are limited. The kind of things that we like are limited.
Yeah.
No matter how successful we become, that can't there are things that's out of our control. Just
Yeah.
because we can technically do
Yeah,
it doesn't mean that it should be done.
right. Exactly. Technically, it's doable. It's just you know how much can they do? How much is it gonna affect all the other stuff that we want to dye? So you have to balance all that stuff out. There certainly, I'm sure they've dyed hoodies before, right? It's just
In smaller scale.
right. Can we make 400 or 500 of these? We've got 5 fits if you include the shorts, which will be back for spring, right? So there's a lot of things going on there. So it's not so simple.
Right.
But anyhow, we're not giving up on the idea. There's no way. Like we'll
Yeah, well, just have to be
eventually we'll
creative
figure it
with
out.
how
Yeah.
we deal with it. But also, this is a good point where, like, we are very, very transparent in what's happening in our lives right now. Like, we are not lives, but like, in our work days right now, what we're dealing with this week. We just broadcast that information to the others. Most brands do not do that. So if it's very common to have these kind of
Things happen.
Yeah, it's just like things that you wanted to do, you plan to do, fell through because of any other any things. Like anything can happen to a process of the it's a long process. It involves a lot of people, so something can happen where it kind of stops us from moving forward. Most of the time that happens behind the scenes and you don't even know it, but because we just tell everybody everything all the time, that things like that can sometimes just seems like maybe it happens to us more, but it's only because
maybe because we let you know about it.
Yeah.
It might also be happening to us more. You never know.
maybe
The people are running it better than we are.
Yeah.
But we I would say that we stubbornly go the stubborn route, and when you go that route, there's a higher possibility of things not going the way you want them to go. So we've been lucky in up until now, and I think we're still lucky. You can't win them all. But it's like baseball. You gotta win more than you lose. So, okay. Sergeant Beef says the reason I like Wonder Looper is specifically because it's such a limited quantity product, because I rather wait for quality than quantity. Yeah, I think a lot of people are, they like the appeal of that as well. They want something that's made special, and they know that things take time. That's it. All right. Plans for a full zip cardigan. John Chan. I almost read that as John Cena. But John Chan asks, plans for a full zip cardigan. No plans.
Not right now.
Yeah, no plans. Okay. Buddy B says, sorry, not Wonder Looper related. I know you all collect movies, and I'm expanding my own physical media collection. Expanding my own physical media collection to cinema. Should I go Blu-ray, or is 4K really that much better? I would say that if you could buy the 4K, get the 4K, because it's not much more expensive, but
not everything is available.
Not everything is available 4K, and I wouldn't upgrade your Blu-rays to 4K if it's your favorite movies. Don't. We have both. Blu-ray looks incredible already. 4K looks better, but you also have to have all the equipment for it. I think if you bought a new TV recently, then yeah. But you have to have the Blu-ray player that can do 4K, HDR, Dolby Vision, HDR10. You gotta have the TV that can do it as well. Again, most of the TVs do HDR10 and Dolby Vision. You gotta have the Blu-ray player for it. But I wouldn't go and run and replace all my Blu-rays in my collection with the 4Ks just because they exist. The Blu-ray still looks fantastic. If the 4K is that much better and you got a couple extra bucks to spend, sure. But if it's the first time you're buying that movie, buy the 4K. Don't, spend the extra $5 or $10, get the 4K, you might as well. They often come with the Blu-ray disc anyways. So I would do that. I would say that sometimes the Blu-ray or the DVD has extra features that the newer releases don't have. So sometimes it's worth hanging on to a bunch of different versions of that movie. But yeah, there you go.
Somebody recommends a video that maybe, explains that just came out. So yeah.
Which video?
Jeff Rouse.
Oh, did
a great video on it today. Get a good TV and 4K player. They will upscale Blu-rays.
That's true. Yeah. Blade Runner says Criterion has been pretty slow to upgrade to 4K, but it's coming out. Yeah, no, they're doing it. Like, I think most of their releases now are 4K. So Criterion is they're on the 4K train. I have to say, like, we have a decent amount of Criterions in our collection, and yeah, I mean, like every time there's a Criterion sale, like I'm loading up. I think that's what they rely on.
I just I don't like this, like, now that, like, with the movies that we love, we feel like we need to upgrade it again to 4K. Yeah, and then someday would it be 8K? Like, I don't know. It's very unsettling.
Yes, I mean, I have movies all the way from VHS to 4K that I own. Almost every physical media version of it.
Right, and like, the thing is, like, we kind of like switched from like being okay buying DVD, if that's the only thing available, to like we're not really buying any DVDs nowadays. Like, we just like, if it's not available in Blu-ray, we're gonna wait till it's available in Blu-ray.
Right,
but
there's very little reason to buy a DVD right now. But yeah, if you're buying physical media, buy the 4K. Even if you don't have a 4K player, buy the 4K. Make sure it comes with the Blu-ray. It usually comes with the Blu-ray, or at least it'll come with a download code, right? Or just buy the 4K player. They're not, to be fair, Panasonic UB820, that's the one to go. That's the one to get. If you got the bucks, buy the UDP 9000, like their flagship. But that's only if you got the bucks and like you're really serious about it. That's a very expensive 4K Blu-ray player. Even I don't have it. But that UB820 Panasonic, everyone loves it. Everyone goes for it. Just get that one, and you'll be happy. That gives you like 90% of what you want. Even me, I don't even know what the flagship Panasonic model really does over the UB820. But I'm the kind of guy where it's like, oh, there's a better model. Like, You just gotta. I'm a sucker. Okay, you know when there's the marketing meetings and they're like, make a better model that's way more expensive because of there is a difference that nobody will know the difference of except for like 1% of the customer base. 99% of the customer base is they have that sign on their hat that says sucker. That's me. I'm the sucker. I would just buy it.
I mean, it's just like it is the marketing strategy that everybody uses.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You can't, it's human psychology. You want better if you can.
Right. Yeah. Oz says most 4K is a lie. It's actually 2K that has been digitally upscaled. Sometimes that's the case. I don't know about most. But again, if you get a little bit better quality over the 1080, even 2K is better than 1K. So if it's a few bucks more, go for it. Go for it. Sometimes there's like remasters, in 4K that arguably people are like, oh, they don't look as good as the Blu-ray. I'm like, maybe. I don't know. I've seen comparisons where like people like they show all of the different versions of the film and they're like, no, clearly the 4K is way better. Like not miles away better, but like you see more, like it's there. Anyways. Yeah. Crown 7 says that's Apple's model for every year. Oh yeah, Apple just announced some new iMacs or like Mac Minis, and I want to change our computers up, and I'm like, oh, okay, click. I'm like, oh my god, how much is this gonna cost? They really get you.
They really they just put you through an emotional roller coaster.
I'm like, oh, it costs $100 to get more of this. Okay, yeah, okay.
But if I'm spending that extra 100, should I spend extra 75 to do this and that? And like, it never ends. It never ends. Yeah. The more money you put in, you're like more likely you put in more money. Like it's crazy.
It's okay. Yeah, I anyhow, we all know their little their thing, but hey, yeah, that's the way it is. Okay. All right. Did you guys watch the Odyssey yet? No. Not yet. Haven't had a chance to. We just haven't had a chance to do much.
I haven't even seen like any of the the must watches of the.
Yeah, it's been tough. The Blu-ray and the DVD pile continues to grow. We don't have as much time as we would like to watch them. We did watch Obsession. That was the last movie that we watched. It was fun. It was a good movie.
Obsession, we got Michael. We watched.
Oh yeah, Michael Jackson movie. We watched that one as well. But yeah, we got the 4K and we got to watch it. We enjoyed it. 4K. There you go. Yeah. Anyhow, there's a lot of debate about 4K and this and that. Just get it. That's don't even technically just get it. It is better. That's it.
It is more future proof too.
That's it. Yeah. You're not gonna complain. Like I'm just saying, the marginal cost here is, oh well, it's not that much better. I'm like, well, it's $5. It's $5 more to get the 4K than it is, the not 4K. So just pay it. You will not be disappointed. You will not miss that $5. I promise you. Okay. That was a good little off-topic rant. I'm glad you brought it up. I like the off-topics every now and then. But let's bring it back on topic because I'm sure I missed some questions. We've got McChrysler mentioning checking in from Nashville. Check in from Nashville in the middle of something. LOL. Oh well, love the Afterhood and can't wait until it's cold enough to wear outside in a couple of months. Right. Well, hopefully it gets cooler for you sooner than later. Well, it is. The fall is definitely upon us. Personally, I'm okay with the naturally dyed options being limited. Explore color and texture variants, and you'll sell the whole range. Yeah. Well, we'll try to add more natural dye options to the mix. We actually have I know somebody earlier was also asking about more ringer tee options. We do plan to have more. There will be more in the FoxFibre ringer tee options, as well as a naturally dyed ringer tee. So the base fabric will be like a white ecru tone, and then we will have the ribbing, which will be naturally dyed. right?
Botanical.
Botanical dyes. So that's coming. The samples are coming soon. So, you know, sort of that classic, you know, look. But instead of the colored parts being, you know, conventionally dyed, they will be dyed using natural materials. So we look forward to having that. And it'll also have sort of a nice, because the dyeing is not so saturated, it'll have sort of a vintage look to it. Like it's been washed down a lot. It'll have that kind of
it's a
look.
top dye. It's like, what's the word?
I don't know.
Heather.
Yeah.
Color. Yeah.
So we'll have hopefully some samples of that soon. Yeah, it's all our spring summer collection stuff. It's just taken a little bit more time than we had hoped.
By the end of September, or by the middle of September, that's what I'm hoping realistically, we should have everything that we can possibly plan for spring.
Yeah. And then what else do we got here? We've got Bella Boris asking about a knit chore coat. Are we interested in making knit chore coats, Teresa?
Chore coat. Chore coat, sure. But like knit jacket. But I don't know chore coat.
Yeah. Look.
I mean, we are making, you know, knit field
shirt. Yeah.
Which is, you know, something that we didn't particularly like, you know, I don't know, we were planning it for a long time or anything like that. But it worked out.
Right.
So I wouldn't say never, but it seems like something that needs the sturdiness of a woven fabric.
Sure. I've had knit blazers before in the past, and they're fine.
But chocolate, in my opinion, has like a lot of pockets where you have to actually put stuff.
Why does that have to be knit? I'm not opposed to making a woven chore coat at some point.
Right. I mean, we're not like we're kind of right now focusing on
knitwear
materials, but you know, we're already working on our tote bag, which is not going to be knit fabric. It's going to be woven because we need the sturdiness. It can't be a knit material fabric for a heavyweight tote bag. It's going to like stretch out like crazy. But yeah, this is the latest sample of the heavyweight Oxford FoxFibre tote.
Selvedge
tote.
So this we used sort of available materials to make this sample, but the fabrics are being milled for us. The FoxFibre will be a little bit darker. It's going to be our same yarns that we use for our sweatshirts and tees. And then the canvas part here, or so the Ecru part here, we're going to have the selvedge line put in here as well. There's some other thoughts of tweaks that we're still considering for the bag as well. But it is not coming anytime soon. Right. We were able to sample because like the mill had some similar materials on hand that we could use to develop the sample pattern. But for production, there will be a little bit of changes with the fabric and you know, like with selvedge ID and things like that, and the color tone. So we're waiting for that. That's got to be milled for us. That takes time. It is probably early next year when we're going to be able to get these out. You look worried.
Sorry.
Is that true?
No, sorry. What did you say? I was reading something.
Oh, I'm just saying that it'll be probably early next year when this is going to be ready.
Sure, maybe.
Okay, sure and maybe. So sure and maybe. But it is coming, and it is a woven. So first of many wovens. Who's to say? But we're not opposed to using woven materials.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You were reading something?
Speaking back on topic, can the Amami-dyed house be willing to do just the Super Looper shorts? That can be still very rad.
Yeah.
Well, if we can do a certain amount of, you know, sweats, you know, French terry items, I don't think it will be shorts. Unfortunately.
If you want your shorts dyed,
just send it to Mike. Wild Frontier Goods.
Yeah.
He does a great job, and you have a range of dye that you can choose from.
Yeah. So anything you want custom, one-offs, you want something for yourself, shoot Mike an email. Mike, Wild Frontier Goods, email or DM him, and he'll be happy to help you. He does great work. Now, some people are asking about whether there's going to be a zipper on this bag. There will be no zipper.
No, this is a very traditional, like,
tote bag.
Tote
style.
bag, yeah.
Now,
we do have a little pocket on the outside. But...
it's also deep in here. Nothing's falling out.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're doing this.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, unless you want it to come out. But other than that, you're not losing anything in here. It's deep. It's gonna be nice. Now, you know, it's open, but we've been using the samples ourselves since the final sample. We had some original samples that with some slightly different details, but I've been using it every single day, and like I don't lose anything in that bag. It is a nice deep bag that you can really beat up.
Yeah.
There we go. Somebody's asking, which is important. Everybody hit that like button. If you haven't hit that like button yet, do us a favor. Come on, we're friends, right? Hit that like button. Let's make it happen. Let's hit 10,000 likes on this stream.
Yeah.
Right? We'll get there. We've got the Jared asking, would we make heavyweight flannels? Well, we do have the first of our flannels coming, right? It is a knit flannel.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it on.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it's not like the heaviest weight, but it is not like it's not
heavy.
Not thin. And because of the material being knit and instead of woven, it does have a little bit of natural stretch to it, which kind of like is really, really like it makes a big difference with wearing it. It just drapes nicely and kind of, you know, it's more comfortable.
Yeah, there was some. I saw on Reddit that there was some amount of debate over this shirt.
What's the debate?
I don't know. People were kind of like, I mean, it's not a inexpensive shirt, so
it was a very expensive shirt.
It was pricey, and then it just sort of divulged into, as like any sort of argument over value of a product, it always sort of divulges into the lowest common denominator is like. You could just buy a used shirt somewhere, and it's like, yes, you could, or you could just not buy it. You could like, it always sort of goes into that realm, and then people are like, that much money for a shirt. I'm like when you say it like that, you're not explaining what the shirt is or how it's made or any of those things. Like,
no, they don't care. They don't
right.
care about the difference between like any of the shirts that are like this shaped. Like, yes, a lot of shirts are this shaped, but like what goes into it that makes a difference. Right. And sometimes that's branding, that's the marketing. Right. And sometimes it's the product itself. Like, if you can, compare apples to apples, then there's that maybe discussion for debate. But like, you're not comparing apples to apples. You're not comparing like, tissue paper to street food. Like it's just a really very different way of thinking. You can't make anything very, very cheap. That's not what we're doing.
No,
and we don't plan on trying to convince people that think that shirt is a shirt.
Right. If you exactly. If you're in the mindset that a shirt is a shirt is a shirt is a shirt, okay, I agree. Let me put it to you this way. I 100% agree with you.
Yes. This is just a shirt.
And it's not for you.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't that's it. Now, for everyone else who is interested in this shirt, it's very comfortable. It's brushed, it's soft, it has a beautiful sort of stretch to it because without having any stretch to it at all. Like, usually when you want stretch in a shirt, you got to add some elastin or something in it. No, that's because this is knit. It's a knit, so it has that bounce that you would expect from, a jersey. So it's very comfortable, but it's brushed like a flannel. It's made from yak, FoxFibre, and Ultimate Pima. So two of the rarest and best cottons that you can get with yak, a naturally colored animal hair, right? Wool is white, Yak is like grayish black. So the blend is what creates this color. No dyes whatsoever. It's got some horn buttons to it as well. So all natural. Trying to show it off there, but you got the all natural button here as well. Comes in 2 colors. You got this beautiful dark brown, which we call tobacco, and then let me show you the ash one.
Yeah, the only difference between the 2 colors is the amount of fox fiber in it. So both have 20% yak. The ash has 20% fox fiber and 60% white cotton, mostly ultimate Pima or Pima. Whereas this one is 60% fox fiber. So because the fox fiber is brown color, and then we put more in it, this is the darker brown color, whereas this one has more white in it, and that's the only way to like kind of we have this variation. There's no dye in it. Yak is black brown, like a really really dark chocolate brown kind of color, and mixed 20% in it, that kind of adds this like grayish, like brownish.
The other one.
Well, it's a combination of the 2.
Right. But the base?
The base is this.
Yeah. So we also have a custom tag coming as well. This is not the final version, but there will be some slight color variation changes, but that's the tag for it as well. So old school looking vintage style tag to match the shirts. So yeah. It is a pricey one. There's no doubt about it. But a lot is going in to this one, and we think it's going to be jam-packed, and I think you'll enjoy it for very very many years to come. You'll enjoy the quality long after you forget the price, and I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just saying it costs a lot to develop that and make that, and anyhow, we think it's as fair a price as it can be for what it is.
Yeah. And only if you think that, if you agree with that, you should consider purchasing. Yeah. Don't consider purchasing if you think it's a ripoff.
Yeah,
right. Nobody's going to be happy about it.
If you think it's a ripoff, you're right. Just leave it. It's fine. Jared says, it's more of a winter weather flannel. Absolutely. The wool composition, the yak that's in there, it makes it a lot more winter weather friendly. It's also brushed, so that's just designed to sort of keep it cozy, trap air in there, and keep you warm. Yeah. So, yes, it is definitely more for the fall. Sergeant Beef says, you can buy a $1 million 1-bedroom apartment near Central Park, New York, or a $300,000 4-bedroom house in the middle of nowhere. The difference is the location. Same for quality garments. Yes. Now, I would say that some of the problem in quality garments, and the same thing with housing and just like anything, is that sometimes the same quality is clearly a different price, or lower quality is charged for higher, and higher quality is charged for lower. And we think that we're logical people, right? And that higher quality means better. But when you learn about quality and what it takes to make garments, I would say that's a small percentage of the population who can decipher this sort of stuff. You see that, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm not paying for quality over there, and I'm paying a lot more for, brand association or, perceived value or this and that. And that might have its own value tied in, right? If you wear the shirt with the nice logo, you go to the club, maybe you meet you meet the hot girl who's really into that, and you drive off into the sunset, and maybe that's valuable to you, right? Could be. I'm just gonna say, when I was younger, I definitely thought having the logo or whatever was important. I think a lot of people who go through the fashion fashion cycle, at some point they're valuing a brand or a name or a whatever for more than its quality is worth. But I think a lot of us mature, some of us earlier, some of us later, some of us never. But you know, we're very much focused on the process and making very, very nice things. And when you go off menu to do that, when you're not using conventional yarns or running fabrics or things like that, things start to stack up. It's the same reason why McDonald's can charge what they charge for their hamburger. It's a great hamburger. Let's never deny that. But you go to the steakhouse isn't a hamburger place. It's not the place that's just constantly churning them out like, you know, like a factory. So their burger costs more. Is it better? Maybe in some ways is it better? Is it 5 times the price better than what you would get at McDonald's? Probably not. Right? You know, you're never, that math is never gonna math. Just because you paid twice the amount for a speaker, is it gonna be 2 times better sounding? No. And everybody, I would say 90% of the people here either know that or are coming to realize that. And, you know, things at some point, they just cost what they cost. Yeah.
Right. Somebody mentioned that fox.
Yes.
There's a little fox. There's no fox.
There's no fox fur in there. Yeah.
But it is a fox fiber. Yeah. So we added the little cute little fox next to yak. And there is a real yak fiber in it. So that's the difference. We don't just call yak.
Right. Yeah. Terry from Naked and Famous loves your products. He raves about Wonder Looper. We also love Terry from Naked and Famous. Terry's he's a good man. Yes, we're glad to know him very well. Jared says, "Is my yak flannel a Ferrari?" Yes. Yes, it is. It is the equivalent. I mean, if you pull up to the club with that shirt or a Ferrari, I mean, you're gonna get probably the same amount of admiration from the people there. They're gonna be like, "Whoa." You know,
let me tell you, if somebody recognizes that shirt and it's like, whoa, that's a yak shirt from Wonder Looper, then you should marry that person.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. No, it's not quite the same level as a Ferrari, but yeah. It's a nice shirt.
I'd say so.
It's a nice shirt.
Yes.
And
you know what, like at the end of the day, like it is expensive, and I think it is one of like the higher priced item even in our collection, and we're not oblivious to the fact that this price point is going to be a deterrent to some people.
Yes,
I totally get it. It's just that we can't make it cheaper.
Yes.
And this is why the price is the price. And you know, but it's you know, we can see the reaction, and it is not a surprising reaction, to be honest.
Right.
But I think that we have enough you know, people who support us that can appreciate this, and you know, we kind of believe in that, so that we decided to make it. And I think the reaction so far, you know, is split, but I think we do get enough of like a positive reaction as well to know that this is going to be a good product. I think we're going to be able to continue doing this, not just one season.
Right. Also, just a lot of our production process is, here's what we want to make. They will then, you know, help our dreams come true. Everything happens. They make the yarn, they knit the fabric, they cut and sew, we pick all the buttons, we do all that stuff. And then when everything's done, they tell us the price.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we don't get a price before something is made. There's not even they don't even want to ballpark us. They're like, yeah, we'll know when we're done. And so by the time we go through that whole process of developing everything, and it works out, and we love the fabric, we love the way everything looks, sometimes things get put on the cutting room floor. Like, we go through the entire sampling process, and we're not completely happy with what the outcome is. That's thousands, many thousands of dollars that are put in development that are just like, okay, well, that's it. Like, we're that
you can't just make enough fabric to make 8 or 1 or 2 samples. We have to make a whole roll.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of fabrics, and especially when it's very expensive material, it can add up to a lot of money. But
Well, my point here is that like our aim isn't to make an expensive t-shirt or an expensive shirt or an expensive sweater or whatever it is. Our aim is to make something really, really nice. And then the price comes after. And whatever that price is, that's the one we got to put out. I can't make it any cheaper because that's what it costs. Like, you know, obviously we have to make profit and things like that. We have to survive. But you know, it's not our intention to go out and create, to be fair, I'm just going to put it out there. Our prices are, we're not the mall brands, right? But like go to the department store, like really go to a department store and see what they're charging for anything nowadays. And you will find that our prices are very reasonable in contrast. And especially when you're like, hey, what is this made of? Where is this made? What is this? Oh, it's nothing. Right? Like the other day, Reese and I we were out in like the fancy part of Tokyo, like doing some shopping, going around, looking around. And like the amount of stuff that is just there at the same price point, if not way higher than what we're putting out, is in abundance. It's like every store you walk into at that level, all of their products are in price points that are way above ours. And so, you know, I definitely hear the criticism every now and then, and like I don't want our prices to be unaffordable, but it's also like the world out there, they're charging crazy prices, and I'm not coming up with our prices like based off what they're charging. Our prices just, we have our own internal math on that, but like we are not in outer space. Right. Maybe that's a long-winded way to say that. I don't think we're in outer space when it comes to what we're doing, you know. So yeah, it can sometimes be interesting because you know I find that a lot of people turn to Reddit or forums or things like that to, you know, get sort of the expert advice. And sometimes I feel like within every group, whatever it is, like you have a percentage of people who get it, you have a percentage of people who get it who never post, and then you get a lot of people who don't seem to get it who post a lot.
Right.
And that's fine because, you know, everybody has to go through this learning process. But I think that sometimes, you know, you'll make these posts and say you're one of the people who get it, and you try to be rational and reasonable, and then you just get piled on by people who are like not with it. Like it becomes sort of a disengaging process where you're like, yeah, you know what, maybe next time I'm not going to say anything.
Right.
You know, and so it sort of becomes I don't know the word I'm thinking of, but it becomes a space where it's like it's not what it's sort of meant to be. Sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, but we've all definitely been in threads where you're like, whoa, this went off the rails real fast. Speaking of which, this is just another Reddit side adventure. You know, there was a couple of months ago when the tariff situation changed, and like I made a post on Reddit on the heritage wear, just because, you know, I know a lot of people buy Japanese made goods, and I wanted to explain how the new tariffs were working.
Right.
Especially from the perspective of somebody who ships hundreds of packages every week, who really understands this process, right? I think that's a pretty valuable bit of knowledge to share, right? Because oftentimes I see people, oh, how much tariff did you pay? This, that. People don't seem to understand how all this works. Here you go. Here's a nice resource. Here's how it all works. So I posted it on Heritage Wear, and then I posted it on Raw Denim, because, you know, back in the day I used to post on Raw Denim a lot. I know obviously a lot of those people are probably interested in how Japanese made goods are being imported into the United States, how that affects them. Right. So the Heritage Wear subreddit, it approved my post like within minutes. Boom, you know, a lot of comments, a lot of people saying thank you. You know, people are really appreciated. The Raw Denim subreddit was like, nah, we can't post this. Like, it was just like, nope, we're not allowing you to post this. How does this pertain to Raw Denim exactly? And I'm like, because Japanese imports, and they're like, nah, you know what? Because when I first made that post, like, there was some information that was still up in the air. They're like, well, when everything's settled, then maybe we'll consider posting it. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Forget you guys. Like, again, even here where I've made, I don't know, many hundreds or thousands of posts in my life that have been very helpful to that community, they're just like, they definitely know who I am on a personal level. They're just like, nah, forget it. We're not gonna let you post anything here. I'm like, okay, fine. Like, no problem. It doesn't hurt me, but I think it might, having good information in a community and not like letting that be available, maybe it'll hurt your, I don't know. It seemed off and weird. Anyhow, Reddit.
One person asked, "Did you get money back from the tariffs?" Just to be clear, we were never going to get money back from the government on the tariffs that they imposed on in the last year.
Yeah. Well, this year.
This year.
So
because
yeah.
Was it last?
It was last year.
It was last year, right? Yeah.
Anyway, it started last year.
So like the first like wave of things that happened, and that got like deemed illegal in Supreme Court, and they were like having to refund. The Japan duty was renegotiated before that, so it wasn't a part of illegal duties. They just kind of like it is what it is. Like, we're not gonna get money back, and the only way that we like had a little bit of refund available for the customers was when the people purchased indigo dyed pre-order t-shirts. Back then there wasn't a 10% extra duty on top of the 16.5% that the
base tariff rate.
So when that happened, when we got the indigo tees ready to ship and we shipped it to America, the people who paid the extra 10% got that 10% back. We refunded it. And we're gonna do the same thing for Cashmere pre-order as well. If you
assuming the tariff rate stays the same,
right? Exactly. We're obviously waiting till when the Cashmere products come in. That's the same thing we did with indigo. Like, we were expecting that 10% to drop, but we weren't gonna do anything about it unless it was fully it goes through the customs and go into the States. That's when we actually know what happens. And so that's what we're doing. If we were able to give you any money back,
we're gonna do it.
We work hard to make sure that we're doing the right thing by the customer.
Like, even with the indigo dyed tees, so like Risa said, the customer paid the tariff rate at the time of purchase, but because the tariff rate went down by the time we shipped, we had collected extra money that wasn't going to get paid to customs. So we sent all that money back to everybody. So, but even on our end, like, it's not an easy thing to do. We have to go and find every single transaction and touch base with every single customer and do that for them. And so, and there's customs, there's currency conversion fees, there's this and that fee, there's all kinds of fees. Like, we're out lots of money in order to do all this stuff, which is very annoying, but
it's
you got to do it's the right thing. You got to do what you got to do. I know on the news you hear these corporations, these big companies that are getting these big, giant, massive refunds, and are they going to pass it on to the consumer? The problem is like, how do you pass? Like, us, there's a clear line,
right?
Whereas like when I don't want to defend these big box chains, but like when some big box store imports gajillions of dollars worth of t-shirts from wherever, and then they have to put that into the price, and then they charge the customer.
Yeah, but
there's no clear line.
Yeah, there's usually a middleman between that and this, and like there's just not. It was not a good, like, the consumer was always gonna
get screwed.
Yeah, it was just no question about it. So it was unfair. We try to be as fair as
we can. But let's end on one thing, because we were talking about the cashmere, cashmere sweatshirts. I'm gonna show you something, guys.
I don't know what he's gonna show. What is it? What? Oh, I think I know. We got a big shipment of something that we need to hold on to for a few months at least, because sometimes like I do most of the sourcing, and sometimes I'm like, I need to make this happen so that it's not last minute, and then we didn't make it last minute, and now this huge box.
Yeah. So
and there's no way to like stack it nicely or anything.
no,
It's
they
just,
take
like,
up a lot of
just
space.
so much space in the warehouse for the next few months.
But if you pre-ordered
yes,
one of the cashmere sweatshirts, the 100% cashmere, the pure cashmere Suriyami French terry sweatshirts, this is the box that they're going to come in this year. Nice sort of Japanese wood
Kiri.
box.
Yeah,
Kiri wood.
this is a material that traditionally Japanese people use in the wardrobe, like
Yeah.
tansu. Yeah. To protect the kimono from being, affected by bugs and moisture and all that stuff. So this is a good material to keep your cashmere sweater in.
Yeah.
That's why we did it.
So when it's not sweater weather season anymore, you put your cashmere sweater back in here, you store it on your shelf. It's got a nice interlocking lid here. You can see it's you can see how it's cut nice and very nicely made. Nice smell to it, and so nice Japanese made wooden boxes will store the sweaters quite beautifully. So if you have a pre-order, we have your boxes. They're going to be shipping in these. Yeah.
So the box is ready.
No extra charge.
Right.
We just wanted to add something a little bit nicer. And
I still have to order a box for the box.
Yeah. The shipping boxes, right? Because we can't just put these in like mailer bags. Otherwise, these are going to get damaged. So we got to put these in boxes. So,
but my thing is that the box is ready. Is the product going to make it in time for Christmas? Is what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? If we believe it, we can achieve it.
Okay,
right?
Manifest.
Yeah, that's it. So, everybody, I
I
think that's where we're going to leave it for this week. Okay, wait. I'm going to do one more last question, okay? Gad Zook says, what would you expect the double heavyweight hoodies to cost for North Americans, assuming all the tariffs are the same as they are today? Well, I don't think that the Japanese, USA, anything is going to change anytime soon. Right?
The only thing that can change is the currency exchange rate.
Right.
Which is, we don't have any control.
It does change, but, we're talking a few bucks up and down every day. Like, literally, if you look at it in the morning, it might be $1 more. If you look at it at night, it might be $1 less. Sometimes that happens. That's because there's an active currency conversion happening on our website. Our base currency is always in Japanese yen, so it's always changing the price, the conversion based on that moment. So that's what's happening there.
Yeah.
That said, at checkout, all of the fees, whatever it is, whether you're in Canada, USA, or Mexico, they're going to be different. And in United States, it's very simple. The tariff rate is 16.5%. There's no sales tax. It's just, that's it. So at checkout, you'll have a line for the tariff. You'll have a line for shipping, and then you'll have your total price at the bottom. That's it. Whatever you pay right there, you don't have to worry about anything when you receive it. For Canada, there's no tariff because Japan and Canada have a free trade agreement, but they do collect sales tax. So depending on the province, every province in Canada has a different tax. You pay your sales tax. So oftentimes it can range anywhere from 5 to 14.5%. So it depends on your province. Quebec, I think, is the highest. Alberta is the lowest. 5% tax. They have all of our Alberta customers. Because the Alberta customers, when they shop cheaper than they could buy it here if they were locals here. Because Japan local sales tax is 10%. Now, the cheapest way, the best way, is it costs you a flight to Japan. So if you plan of coming to Japan,
or if your work is sending you to Japan,
if your work sends you to Japan,
that would be the win.
That's the win, right? No, now if you work in a company that often needs to go to Japan for anything, or for whatever reason, there's a conference here, encourage your boss. Say, send me to Japan. Send me to Japan. Come here, shop tax-free right here in the store. Now, the in-store tax-free requires you to bring your passport. So bring your passport. We can do it so long as you're here on a visitor visa, or if you are, there's certain military visas that are allowed, but some of them are not.
But it also needs to be temporary.
Yeah.
It's a temporary thing.
So long as you're here temporarily. But Yeah, some military ones allow it, some of them don't. Anyway, it all depends. Then we can do tax-free here in the store. Basically, we just don't charge you the sales tax. That will change in November. And November, which isn't that far from now, there will be a new policy. And basically, you will pay the sales tax here, and then you collect it at the airport.
You get a refund at the airport.
Yeah, you collect a refund, a tax refund at the airport. So that's how we handle it. Yes. There you go, everybody. There's no way to skirt it. There's no way to trick the system, but we try to make it easy for everybody.
Yes.
There we go. All right. We left on my favorite topic of all time, taxes and tariffs. Well, there you go, everybody. It's been a while. It's been a good time. I had a lot of fun. Got to answer lots of questions. Hopefully you learned something.
A lot of good news, a lot of bad news, but
ups and downs. That's life. Well, enjoy the last days of summer here, because as we get into September, we're going to be rolling out double heavyweight French Terry's FoxFibre. We've got the classic colors coming as well. Release dates are coming soon, so stay tuned. Be subscribed to the newsletter. We'll make sure to update that with release information as we get it. Of course,
we also sold out of the extra Azumas, just putting out there.
They're all gone?
Very much. Yeah.
Okay, Azumas are gone, everybody. We're going to get those out today, so hopefully you'll have them early this week. We'll see you guys again real soon. Same time, same place. Wonder Looper live stream, podcast, subscribe, like, and we'll see you guys next time. Do something nice for yourself
and somebody else.
See ya. Say bye, Wyatt.